man? What's with these guys?
Hey, I don't even know what's going on, guys, but it looks like man's missing from this video. Like, big up to everyone that's tuning in right now. Obviously, you can hear my voice while I just sort out the video. I don't know what's going on with my camera. It's moving mad. Put myself in position. I don't know what I'm going to have to do if I'm just going to bring in the guys. Big up to everyone that's here. I'm just going to quickly just sign out for a hot sec and then come jump back in. Because this is a bit crazy. How can...
Somebody else got to host it while he's gone, innit?
Yeah, it's good to see you. We ain't done a show together in a long time, boys.
Yeah, it's been a minute still.
Yeah,
so
all three of us. It's been a long time, boys.
TV. Welcome to Red United TV. I am their temporary host, Ems. And alongside me, we have Dex. And we have
Yo.
How's it
Yeah,
going?
we're
How's
there.
it going? How's
We're
your
there.
weekend? How's your weekend? Sir,
Oh,
it for a minute, sir.
yeah, a co-host. We needed that co-host, man. We need someone to hold it down real
Need
quick.
someone to save the day.
Yeah, I need to change my camera, man. I think it's this camera. It's just moving a bit mad. I think so. Yeah, I'm back now. That should be all right.
Good,
I think I got too much.
Good. That was hard work, man. I can't be presenting, bro. Hurry up. You got to do the job.
No, let me close. I don't know what's going on, but the process is too much. It's processing too much, I think. Yeah, I think I'm all right now. You guys can you guys see me moving or anything like that?
It's a bit slow.
No, your statue. Like you're North Macedonia or something.
Oh my God. Video. Change camera.
Look, you're making like boredom.
I know. I'm so sorry, bruv. Guys, hey, first of all, big up to everyone that's tuning in right now. It's little technical difficulties as we are doing this stream. I don't know what's going on, but my camera's acting all booky, man. I don't know if it's my connection or something like that.
Maybe you got COVID on there.
Yeah.
I think so, bruv.
Yeah, that's what happens, isn't it? That's what you have to expect this sometimes on a live show. Some technical hiccups in that. But yeah, we'll get past it.
we'll get past it, guys. Big up to everyone that's tuning in right now. Anyway, I should be able to sort out my camera in a couple of seconds, man. I don't know what's going on. It's moving a bit mad. But yes, big up to everyone that you're here with a catch up. It's 106 right now. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and share across all social media platforms as we are live right now. I don't know if it's switched, but I will sooner or later just jump out the chat. But let me just set the pace before I even jump out the chat. Jerome, Ems, and of course, Deps is here. We are here to discuss everything Manchester United. Of course, Marcus Rashford himself. I don't know, close to signing a new contract with Manchester United. £375,000 a week is what we're hearing. Min-Jae close to signing for Bayern Munich. Manchester United letting it slip. Manchester United messing up again. It's typical Manchester United all the time. But again, we talk about that. We've got news regarding players' futures, such as De Gea and etc. And of course, guys, Manchester United still not up for sale. Before I even kick off, smash the like button, share across all social media platforms. I do apologize for the technical difficulties that you man can't really see me properly or hit or what's it called? Even if you hear me, I'm not too sure, but I will jump out and then sign back in again. I think it's just my camera's just acting up. But as I was saying, guys, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, share across all social media platforms, and let's get straight to it. Let me just share my screen because I just want to show you what's on the Twitter feed and regarding Marcus Rashford himself, coming from Fabrizio Romano. As you can see there, exclusive, Manchester United on the verge of reaching an agreement with Marcus Rashford over a long-term deal. He's set to accept the proposal. Negotiations are its final stage. Rashford very happy with Ten Hag. Final details to be sorted. Here we go soon. I'm going to start off with you, Jerome. Thoughts on Marcus Rashford himself? Getting a new contract, thoughts on the price as well. Is it deserving? 375k. The guy scored 4 goals last season, but scored 30 goals this season.
Yeah, my initial thoughts is that he definitely deserves a new contract. I think he's only got 1 year left after this. So the club want to protect their asset because obviously they don't want to end up losing him for free. And if they lose him for free, they're gonna have to fork out another 80 to 100 million pounds to replace him. And the club, at this moment in the current structure, they can't afford that. So the new deal makes sense. The pay increase, I can see where they're coming from, but I think the pay increase is a bit too high. I think 375k a week for Rashford is way too high. He's still young. He's still got another contract left in him. He's only 25, and I think paying him 375k a week might be counterproductive because he might think I'm on these high wages. I'm on a long-term deal. So the motivation levels might not be there next season. So next season will be interesting because we're notorious for giving out high contract extension and then performance levels drops. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next season. But to be paying him the same amount as players like Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne it's just ludicrous when you think about it. What they've done for their club and what Rashford's done, because like you said, he's on his best season to date, but that was just one season. I think the season before that, like you said, that was people calling for him to leave. So it's been a dramatic U-turn from 1 minute to leave next, making him the highest paid player at the club. So he definitely deserves a pay increase, but yeah, 375k is too steep, and we run the risk of players that come here will be now demanding higher wages because they've seen how much Rashford is on. And I thought that the club was looking to move away from offering such excessively high contracts, but obviously they've made Marcus the exception, but I don't think other players are going to see it that way. So it's going to be interesting how we negotiate deals with new players that we bring in and current players that we have in the team, because as I keep saying, it's just too big an increase. But then again, they're probably looking at it to say that when Horse is probably going, Sabitz is probably going, and we haven't replaced Ronaldo, so his wages are still there. It's not being allocated to anyone, so maybe they're looking at it like that. And the goalkeeper, obviously he might stay on with a wage increase, so it's almost like they might end up thinking, right, we're reducing wages in one area, so we can just transfer that onto Rashford, but I still think that the club need to be more creative than that. And I'm pretty sure Rashford's happy to stay at the club. And if we offer them less than that, for example, say 50 grand more, or maybe just basically put it this way: if we're paying him less than 300k, I think that's acceptable because he's already on 200k now. But to put it up to coming up to 400k, it's crazy. Because I remember Sanchez was earning that close to that amount. So yeah, we need to try and move away from offering these ludicrous wages. To be honest.
Yeah, I hear that, man. Absolutely so, man. Ems, your thoughts on it? Is it too much? Or is it obviously does he deserve it first of all? Because of course his contract is up for ends and he could be going for free next season. But what's your thoughts on Marcus Rashford's new contract?
I'm on the fence, right? So for me, I feel like we've only got ourselves to blame. And this all started from giving Alexis Sanchez £500,000 a week. And then you go and give Davide 375 grand a week, bro. What goalkeeper anywhere deserves that sort of money? I don't fucking know. Excuse my language. And for me, with Rashford, right, I feel he deserves it. But at the same time, I felt like maybe if we would have offered that contract when he was in bad form, the money would have been less than now because he's in rich training form. So the ball's now in his court. If you don't want to give me that contract, that's fine. I'll go play somewhere else. So it's down to the club, innit? It's like they need to come to an agreement.
So, I hear that, man. I do apologize to everyone now, but it's gonna be like this for the rest of the show. Depths, what's your thoughts on Marcus Rashford? New contract, does he deserve it?
Vorian, to be honest, it seems like a very good proposition for Marcus Rashford, you know. Like, I like Marcus Rashford as a person. So, as a person, I would say that he probably does deserve 375k. You know, he's done a lot for charity and been a loyal Manchester United fan as well as player. Realistically, it will probably make the money back selling shirts. You know, he's actually Manchester United. So he's actually from the academy. So he probably make United the money back, you know, with the support that we've got. He's going to sell shirts next season. Sponsors are going to come looking for him to say, yeah, you're Mr. Manchester United. You're probably the one that's going to guide us to glory. But the problem ain't Marcus Rashford signing the contract. Obviously, you could have paid him £500 million. You know, the problem for me is he actually going to sign it? And I know, obviously, it's Mr. Fabrizio saying, here we go. But with what United's been going through, it seems kind of comical in the sense where, you know, they've lined things up, things are in place, and then the final hurdle was failed. And now I want Marcus Rashford to stay. I want him to sign that contract. Do I believe he will stay and sign that contract? United's given me so many insecurities, man. United's literally given me so many insecurities to where now I'm seeing, you know, all the green lights and the green ticks and saying, yeah, well done, Marcus, for getting your a big contract. Well done, you get me. You deserve it after the season that you had, and after the England saga, you deserve a good contract. You know, you proved yourself. Worth 30 goals a season, you proved it, and you could go on to do more. You know, as long as it's not gonna make you idle or make you complacent, go for it. Literally, go for it. But last season, PSG came in for him. Now, PSG is a real big club. PSG could pay them wages easily. And I'm thinking, did that just sway his head? Did Marcus have it to say, raw, am I going to look towards somewhere like PSG and sign for PSG? Because I reckon Real Madrid will come in for him if he went on a free. PSG will come in for him if he went on a free. Bayern Munich will come in for him if he went on a free. You know, these are the best clubs in the world at the present moment. So I think, I'm hoping that is not swaying his head. So I'm hoping that what Fabrizio is saying is true. And here we go. Welcome back, Mr. Manchester United, because I was doubting him to say, right, is he actually going to sign this contract?
I hear that, man. You have those doubts, but I don't know why I've got so much echoes in the background. Let me just find out where this echo's coming from. But yes, as I was saying, guys, Smash that like button and share across all social media platforms. Your boy is here still hosting this without showing his face. It is what it is, man. But as I was showing here, and I'm sharing my screen of there been some article coming out from the Express, coming from Talksport. Cas Carino as well. He's saying that Manchester United offering Marcus Rashford 375k could be a mistake, and he's warning Eric Ten Hag. He says that Rashford had a fantastic season this year. We just scroll that down so we can get the rest of the stuff I said. This season that just finished 30 goals and 17 Premier League goals. But do you think you'd want to pay £375,000 a week for someone who has had their best season at 25 years old and played very well and looked like a different player this year? He looks way more clinical than he has done, but I'm still not totally convinced about Marcus' ability to lead the line at United for next two, and has to be the minimum. Jerome, because I could agree with that. You know me, I don't like it when Manchester United just throw money at any player, like unnecessary, especially the boys that's come here. I mean, the boys that's been here for a while, Marcus Rashford and so. Because I wasn't even happy when he was on 250k because he wasn't even scoring 20 goals. Because you got certain players like Harry Kane who's struggling to get a better wage, who keeps scoring 20 goals per season, but Marcus Rashford isn't. Is Cas Carino right? Marcus should be having the same season as he has this season as a minimum for next season and the next season and henceforth?
Yeah, definitely. Like if you're a 375k a week player, you should be putting up these numbers consistently year in, year out. That's the kind of salary that he's getting. That's elite. Once you get 300k and above, that's elite level wages. So we expect elite level performances on a more consistent basis. And if we're not getting that next season, then questions are going to be asked about why we're paying Rashford this amount of money, because we're already seeing that with Sancho already, who earns over 300k and he's putting up stinkers and not putting in the effort in. So if we're not getting consistency from Rashford next season, then yeah, he's gonna be getting a lot of criticism. So obviously it's happy days for him with a new contract that he's about to sign and extended and higher wages, but the pressure's going to be on to continue to perform. You're going to have to show that you deserve those wages and not just rest on your laurels, because as I said earlier in the show, is that we always seem to pay higher wages in new contracts and then performances seem to dip. So we'll have to see. He's at the prime age now, 25. He's been at the club a long time now. So we need to start seeing more consistency in his performances, because all this scoring here and there but not doing nothing in the game, that's not 375k a week level. So he needs to start showing it now. He had a good season, his best yet, but now we have to like kick on even further now if we're going to be looking to challenge for the like major honours and for the title, because Erling Haaland, as I said, earns similar wages to that, and he's basically scoring a goal every game on his ratio. So I kind of agree with what he's saying. Is Rashford the man to lead the line? I honestly don't think so, but I do think if he continues performing like he did last season, but just on more regular basis, then he can definitely help us to start challenging for major trophies.
I'm going to throw you straight in, and of course, you heard what Cas Carino has said about Marcus Rashford not deserving that 375k. Are you in agreement?
It's a hard one because I think like because he plays out wide, right? I was listening to something from another show, and they made a good point. Like with a wide man, normally if they get double figures goal scoring, double figures assists, you would say right, he's had a good season. But the way the game's changed, and I think there's more emphasis these days on wide players to score a lot, like to have high numbers. It's crazy, and I think it's all started from Mo Salah and Sterling and all these other players. So I think no player is worth over £300 a week anyway. But I think when he does sign that paper, he's going to be scrutinized. So he has to live up to that. And I think not everyone's got the bottle, as we can see with man like Jadon Sancho on, was it 250 or £300 a week? Man ain't done nothing. So and is the pressure getting to him? I don't know. So for me, I think though it's also a good sign to show these young people from the academy that what you can do. That this could be motivation for them. If they want to get to these levels, they can earn this same amount of money. So it's a pro and con. Do you know what I'm saying? You know. So we just have to just wait and see. But hopefully, when he signs this bumper contract, hopefully his performances don't go down and he can go to some unbelievable levels. That's what I'm hoping for.
And I'm gonna go to you, Debs. Is Eric Ten Hag himself making that mistake? Why is it when I put it on you, I sound like this?
I can't hear nothing, bro.
Bro, no. Why is it when I put it on you, I sounded like this? Oh God. Anyway, as I was saying, is Eric Ten Hag making a mistake? Or is the club making a mistake for offering Marcus Rashford that much amount of money? We've seen it with Sancho.
In my opinion, I think Marcus Rashford is the best English player that is available right now. I feel like he's truly underrated for playing in an underperforming team. I think when you deep it and you truly deep it, Manchester United are always looking for another player to be that superstar. So most of the English team, the ones that are rated, Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, in their personal clubs, they're touted that superstar. And Marcus Rashford has always been battling with transfers to say, are you going to be that superstar? And I think last season where Ronaldo left, I think Marcus Rashford has always been potentially that superstar. But I think the way the game's evolved, everybody's looking to buy that superstar. We're looking at Galacticos. You know, people forget about homegrown talent. They don't care about homegrown talent anymore. And Marcus Rashford always gets overlooked. But with the ball at his feet, one of the best players I've ever seen. Literally, English players anyway. You know, he's magical sometimes. And when in his development, it was literally his mentality. You know, I felt sometimes he was a bit greedy in front of goal. He didn't know when to pass it or shoot. I felt sometimes he was drifting out of the game and not getting into. He felt less dangerous. Where now, 25-year-old Marcus Rashford, he's finding assists. He's finding even more space. He's developing his game to play in the middle. He's becoming so mature to where defenders are literally terrified of him. Like you wouldn't want to give him a chance. You wouldn't want to have a mistake in and around him. They're literally terrified. And I think in the Premier League right now, there's not many strikers. There's not many wide players or strikers or offensive players that's better than him right now. I think any team in the world would literally take him on board and give him an opportunity and £375 contract and £1,000 contract. I genuinely believe any team that could afford him will give him that contract. So I don't think it's a mistake. I think whoever that guy, Cascarino, whatever you want to call him, I think he's an op. I think he's an Arsenal fan because the way that I look at it, he's 25. Bigger clubs are looking at him. The ball's in his court. You know, Manchester United fans want him to stay. He's going to sell the shirts. It's just that he hasn't got that superstar level due to the fact United bringing in other superstars. So remember, Lukaku, Ibrahimovic, Ronaldo. There's always been that one striker or that one offensive player that's been. Even Jadon Sancho came to say, "Well, we're going to buy a Jadon Sancho shirt. We're not going to keep a Marcus Rashford shirt." So I think this season proves that he is one of the Galacticos. He is that superstar. He is warranted 375k. I think he proved it. So I think once he gets that contract, hopefully, as you said, he doesn't get complacent and say, "Well, I've got the money now. I don't need to, keep the level of consistency," which is probably going to be the problem. But does he warrant it? Does he deserve it? Of course, he is that guy. I think he's literally the best player in England, overlooked.
Now, I'm gonna stop you there. You're singing for far too long. Let's move on from Marcus Rashford. Why do I sound like that? Let me just mute Depths. Now, can you guys hear me? Or am I on mute? Yeah. It's Depths. You've got some echo in the background when I'm talking. So, but as I was saying, back to the show. Of course, let's end it there with Marcus Rashford. You know what I mean? Rashford himself hopefully he deserves that contract. Hopefully he does well when he gets that contract. I don't want it to be in a situation where he signs a new contract and he goes back to what he used to be, playing shit and not doing well like certain men have done when they sign a new contract. Depps has joined back into the convo. Yep, Depps. Yeah, see, I sound perfect now. Yeah, as I was saying, but yes, moving on from Marcus Rashford, smash that like button and share across all social media platforms for those who are watching. Kim Min-Jae, the Napoli defender, of course, guys, on the weekend, Fabio Romano tweeted that Kim Min-Jae is closest joining Bayern Munich. And this is a player that's been on Manchester United radar. This is a player that everyone's been talking about defensively as well. This is a player that's been linked so strongly that we expected Manchester United to sign him. But the only thing is that they have agreed a deal in principle. He has agreed a deal. Personal terms are agreed with Bayern Munich, but it's just to meeting the fee. And we all know that the minimum release clause will be activated as early as July. So doesn't mean everything's complete, but how are you men feeling about this? Because again, another one bites the dust. Harry Kane said no to us. I'm hearing that the Hodgline guys as well is also being in talks with Bayern Munich. So it looks like everyone that we're interested in. You've got Declan Rice linked to Arsenal. You've got Caicedo linked to Chelsea. We ain't doing that, and we ain't be sold. I'm gonna start off with you, Ems. Ems, your thoughts on this Kim Min-Jae's Manchester United just losing the battle, in my opinion?
It's mad because I feel like he's only been noticed because they won the Scudetto, innit? So you know what I mean. But for me, I haven't really seen enough of him. But he looks quite a solid type of player. But bruv, I just think we just gotta wait and I got to put. Oh, sorry. You got the England games on. Rashford just scored that. Sorry.
Who? England's playing.
Yeah, Macedonia. Yeah,
see, Depps. I told you I'm not no Brexit man. I don't even know that England's playing. Guys, I've switched off. This season is finished for me. Ever since the FA Cup, the Champions League, and the FA Cup final, I've no interest in.
I heard that.
But yes, sorry about that. Sorry, yeah. So I think, mate. I think we got to offload players before we start bringing players in. I think we need to just tell man transfer list and all these things. We need to get the wheels in motion with the people that need to leave the club, particularly the Fridge playing right now at centre back with England. But we need to, But then unless we was going for Kim, what's his name? Kim Min-Jae.
Kim Min-Jae. Kim
Min-Jae. Yeah. Unless like Matt, he wants to bring him in, so he knows the writers on the wall that Harry Maguire, you need to leave. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I feel like, let's be honest right now, yeah. If you was a player, take away your Man United allegiance away. He scored now. Marcus Rashford just scored. Sorry, take away your Man United allegiance, right? If you're a player, Bayern Munich come for you and Man United come for you, who are you most likely to go and join? Let's be honest. Bayern Munich, innit? Because they've got a structure, they've got everything in place to go challenge for the Champions League, let alone they'll win the Bundesliga anyway. Do you know what I mean? I think the only people that would actually come to Man United right now if there's probably nobody else going for them, or they've grown up supporting Man United as a child. But more than that, I expect them to go by Munchen, innit? But for me, we just need to just find other targets. We're linked with some Monaco defender, ain't we? So, sometimes you're not always going to get every player you want. You just have to move on and just accept it. That's football, innit?
That is football as well, man. Let me bring it straight to you, Jerome. Of course, your thoughts on Manchester United losing out on another transfer?
Yeah, at first I was thinking, we've lost another target that ETH wants. But when I've kind of had time to digest it all, I kind of agree with what M said. If we probably spoke to Kim Min-Jae and his agent, probably tried to sell it to him to say, yeah, come to Old Trafford, you'll be a starter. We're looking to offload some players and we'll make sure that you'll get regular game time and stuff. But yeah, if Bayern Munich come in for you, that's going to be hard to turn down because right now they're a more established club than us, and he's got a better chance of winning multiple trophies at Bayern Munich. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about Kim Min-Jae myself because I don't watch Serie A like that to know the ins and outs of how he's been getting on. And the way I look at it is, he's definitely an upgrade on Harry Maguire from what I've seen. But I just think that there's still other options there in defence. I don't think it's one of the ones where it's like we miss out on Kim Min-Jae, so it's the end of the world. I think there's a lot of young defenders out there that if we use our scouting network and actually identify players that fit into the manager's system, we could even probably get a replacement in, well, actually not a replacement, an addition into the squad that's probably less than Kim Min-Jae's buyout clause and younger and has more potential. So obviously we probably wanted to tap into the Asian market because obviously that would help with shirt sales and stuff as well and the branding. But yeah, we just need to look elsewhere. As M said, we can't get everyone that we want. But I just think that if we've got a pool of targets in each area, say for example, if we've got 3 defenders in our A list, if we can get someone else that's in our A list, then yeah, fair enough. But we don't want to be going into our B list and C list of targets. We want to be getting the top pool of targets in each category. So I'm pretty sure the manager's got another couple of defensive options that he'll probably be targeting as well. So that's the way you've got to look at it, really. We don't have a good DOF. We don't have a good board structure, but I think this deal was pretty much straightforward. You talk to the player, agree personal terms, meet the buyout clause, and that's it. You don't even need to negotiate a fee with the club. So it's one of them ones where any top club could have come in for Kim Min-Jae and could have just hijacked him from United. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man City, anyone that was interested in him would have beaten United to him. Simply because the buyout clause, you don't need to negotiate for that. So it's one of the ones where you just have to just move on, really. And we still got the ownership issue hanging over us. So right now, it doesn't even seem that we're going at full throttle on transfers anyway. So I think right now we just need to kind of focus on just getting rid of the deadwood and then hopefully get a couple of signings in before pre-season, because the way things are going now, I don't think we'll get all our signings in before the start of pre-season. But if we can get a couple in early July, then we should be okay. So I wouldn't be too downbeat about potentially missing out on Kim Min-Jae because, as I said, there's other options out there. So it's not the end of the world. I'm more concerned about getting better midfield options than defense, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Yes, I'm just, you highlighted there about the most important things that Eric Ten Hag himself, we've seen Manchester United managers not get their first choice, not get their second choice as well, but get their third, fourth choice. That's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see our manager getting his third or fourth, fifth choices, because that means they're not the best player that they want out in that position. Depths. Are you slightly worried, especially with Manchester United losing Kim Min-Jae? What's your thoughts on it, first of all, on Manchester United not getting that player? But again, there is still an opportunity there because, as I said earlier on, they still need to meet the minimum release clause, which is activated in July, as early as the early July. So there is still an opportunity for Manchester United to go back in there, and it probably is going to be the question of who's offering the better deal in terms of money. That's the only way he's going to be swayed, is money. It's not going to be about a footballing project, because Bayern Munich are far advanced as they should be. But what's your thoughts on this Kim Min-Jae? Is he worth it, or Man United, you know what, we can do, it's okay, we'll let it go, it's not a big deal?
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed to hear that one, because you look at his profile and he looks elite. You know, he was leading defender in Italy for a title winning a campaign. So it looks very, you know, like an elite player. You know, once again rejecting United, and it's like, I'm happy. You know, the positives is Ten Hag is targeting winners. You know, like he targeted Frankie de Jong, who rejected. You know, and he was right to do so. He won the La Liga, and now he's targeted another champion. He's targeted Casemiro, which was a champion. He's bought in Martinez, who's also another champion. So the positives are there. You know, he is targeting champions. But what I do believe is the players that, you know, the elite players that are being targeted are just not trusting. If it's not the owners, then it's the club itself. You know, the club hasn't really got the stability to want these established players that could probably go to any club. You know, as you said, when you look at the other clubs that are in competition with the players that we want or we should be having, we're at the bottom. And I think once Ten Hag gets that elite management accolade, I think players will then start coming for Ten Hag, just the same way they came for Louis van Gaal, the same way they came for Jose Mourinho. You know, I think when United, since Ferguson, we haven't really been strong in the transfer market, so it's expected. You know, I think Di Maria came, he said, no, I'm not feeling it, he left. That was a high-profile player. Pogba and Lukaku came, but same, they weren't really feeling a vibe and left. So I think the high-profile players.
That's play simple's asking you, is this Iron Man Bissaka? Yeah, you might as well just say yes.
I don't. What's the question? I don't get the question.
Play simple said, "Hey yo, is that Iron Man Bissaka?"
What? Oh, speaking.
You. Play simple. Don't get him started. You know, that's his favorite play in the whole wide world. But yeah, Steps, as you were saying, sorry for distracting you.
Yeah, so obviously we're just used to it, innit? We're just literally used to having the highest profile players reject us for what is better in opinion. You know, I think, and in my genuine opinion, if these high profile players took the risk and came to Manchester United, especially the ones that weren't really known, United would be in a much better position than what we're in now. I'm talking the guys that we were interested in. So Gojongan, a lot of the City ballers we was interested in, Gojongan, Diaz, Laporte. You know, we was literally had interest in these players and they chose other clubs. But if they took the risks and joined Manchester United, would be better. So I think Ten Hag knows. I think we've got a wise manager on our hands. You know, you look at the last transfer market and what was available, he selected the best. You know, he selected Martinez, Casemiro, Eriksen, and these were virtually the players that could come. Maybe I think Eriksen took his time. Martinez had Arsenal option first. Casemiro kind of got pushed out of the club and he came. You know, and that was from a difficult transfer. And you look at what they've done in the season, you say, yeah, cool, 100%. You know, and they weren't even first choice. So I think we should just trust Ten Hag in this process. But it's very disappointing to see the high-profile player like Min-Jae saying no, or looks like he's going to say no. But I have hope. I've seen other targets that, you know, kind of fit the bill of what Manchester United need. And I'm thinking, you know what, let me just trust in the gaffer the way that these players should be trusting in the gaffer. So, yeah.
And as you can see there, guys, again, let me just share you my screen. I've got Bayern Munich lined up for double suit for Manchester United, link duel. And as you can see there, I believe that's the Atlanta player that Manchester United have been pursuing, the Hojland guy. Christian Folks as well has even said something. He tweeted something. I'm not too sure what he's tweeted, whether it's true or not true. I think Bayern Munich have probably laid an interest, and I said, however, Atlanta has an incredible high valuation, around £86 million. A player that's only scored 10 goals in Serie A. I feel like clubs take us for dickheads at times, you know, dickheads, because they know we're desperate. £86 million for a player that we barely know. Just had one, I think, a decent season at Atlanta. I don't even think he's the main starter. Big up Stephanie as well. Big up to you as well. And big up to Play Simples. But I seriously don't think this Hojland guy is a main starter. Again, he has been linked to Manchester United. And again, if Bayern Munich was to go for him, we know we'll lose the battle because Manchester United are not the club they were. And most players, they probably don't value Manchester United as they used to back then, you know. But yeah, what's your man's thoughts? Hojland, Bayern Munich.
I think with this Hojland signing, or if I pronounce his name wrong,
Yep.
I thought he was going to be just brought in as like a project striker, that just to come in and just develop in the long term, and then we'll have like Harry Kane as the main striker. That was what I thought was the idea. So for them to be rumored to be putting an £86 million price tag on him is crazy. And I think if they're going to stick with that, we just need to just move on, because I think we've got a reputation of just overpaying for players, and I think clubs around Europe have realised that. So United just need to be very careful about how they go about approaching these transfer targets, because we've got a limited transfer budget as it is, and if we're spending £86 million on a backup striker, then it's not going to be looking good for all our other targets, because we've got so much work to do in the transfer market. So I just hope that we've got a plan of action, because as I said, that all these clubs are going to be just overcharging us. So hopefully our negotiators can negotiate the fee down and just tell Atlanta to stop with this nonsense and get real. Or otherwise, we're just going to have to just utilise what we have and just look for loan deals, bringing the likes of Weghorst in again and stuff like that. If the club can't pan.
That's stressful, to see. Yeah. Manchester United have announced to take Weghorst back.
Don't be surprised.
It's going to be a long season.
If we get desperate, these are worst case scenarios. If we can't pan up bills, then we need to just bring back these loan guys again, and just hopefully Qatari comes in and shows us how to do business and recruit the right board members that are football people and know how to negotiate deals. Because right now, all these guys are taking us for idiots, isn't it? So as long as that is in place, it's going to be hard for us to buy players at good prices. So the way I see it, if they're going to stick with that £86 million and just move on and look for someone else, I'm pretty sure with the skirts that we're utilising across Europe, we should be able to find alternative targets. It might not be our first choice, but sometimes you just got to just move on, or even just wait until next season if it means the overspending.
There's another bombshell for you guys. For those who love Love Island, here you go again. Napoli president says he's agreed a 2-year contract extension with Manchester United target Victor Osimhen. I'm not sure if it's confirmed, but it's coming from the people's person. Fabrizio Romano himself tweeted it as well. Depths, is this a blow for Manchester United in terms of getting the striker that we want? Because Harry Kane has said no. Well, Tottenham have said no of letting Harry Kane go, and we've seen him in the new poster showing off the new Tottenham kit. He's there. He's a poster boy. Is this another blow for Manchester United?
Yeah, it feels like the King Min-Jae, where he's the highest profiles, obviously same club, high profile. Feels like a Didier Drogba, where you just know he's gonna bag crazy goals. I was watching Didier Drogba goals the other day, and it was some wonderful goals he scored. He rarely scored tap-ins. Some wonderful goals. So yeah, it's a blow, but I don't think United need to be that desperate in the market for a striker. There are so many strikers, but there are so many strikers right now, and I never believed in Manchester United getting that striker, the striker that they actually wanted, which I think is Harry Kane. I think all the strikers that they actually want, even the teams that are considered more elite, are saying, nah, like we don't really want to be involved. Real Madrid need a striker. Real Madrid ain't going in for them elite ones. Bayern Munich probably going to need a striker. Bayern Munich ain't going in for them elite ones. So none of the major clubs are making moves for the elite striker because they're way overpriced right now, literally. And I think Manchester United have learned from their lessons. We've got a new financial structure where we're buying players now, but we're not going to be paying the crazy money that ain't been working anymore. So in that sense, I think Manchester United, like somebody like Højlund, Manchester United can look past it, say, yeah, let somebody else sign him, because he might be a João Felix and come back to us on loan. They'll offer us, roughly the same amount of money by the age of 25, to see if he's elite or not. We don't have to develop him. We're not that desperate. So yeah, I don't think United should be too desperate in the market. Like, if push comes to shove, and it might towards the end of the market, there's so many. I think there's Ramos, Osimhen, Kane. There was what's the Nigerian Quincy Promise, Jonathan Davis. There's so many, and that's just the borderline of strikers that Manchester United has been linked to. So yeah, I think Manchester. I don't think you should be worried about the type of striker. I think what we should be focused on is putting ourselves in a position to grab one of these strikers next season. We should see who becomes the kings of kings next season, and once we see who the actual best striker is next season, I think Manchester United should put themselves in a position to sign one of these strikers. Because when you look at the market, Real Madrid already splashed their cash, signed Jude Bellingham, £100 million. I don't think the elite strikers are going to go there. Bayern Munich looking to splash their cash early as well, and not an elite striker. So I don't think many strikers are going to go there. Even Barcelona, I ain't seen Barcelona splash the cash. They don't have cash to splash on a striker. So United are in the midst, of signing one of these great strikers. But I don't think we should panic as yet. There's time. There's time.
Big up to Stephanie that says United owner or their yes mans are doing it again and not backing our manager like every previous manager qualified for UEFA Champions League back. Don't get top four, then back Arnold Myrtle out with Choco Brothers. Big up Stephanie for her thoughts as well. I'm going to move up to another last topic before we end the stream. Let me just go back to sharing my screen. And it's our boy himself, Donny van de Beek. Here, Donny van de Beek set to seek Manchester United exit as Fred's tip to stay. Coming from People's Person, as again, it says Manchester United are expected to bring fresh faces all over the park, but they plan to succeed. The club will need to offload multiple stars in order to raise further capitals for the man's shoes. After last summer's splurge, Eric Ten Hag was informed that the transfer kitty will not be as fast and that player sales was the only way to supplement that figure. And of course, you guys know Manchester United have got some midfielders that we're looking to get rid of: Scott McTominay, Fred, and Van der Beek. And as you see there, Donny van de Beek set to seek Manchester United exit. I want to go to you, Debs, because Debs, you haven't had your say. Your thoughts on this news right there: Donny van de Beek set to seek a Manchester United exit as Fred's tip to stay.
Yeah, Ivor.
M's,
You know
M's.
how
I said M's.
I swear you said that.
I said
I've
M's.
always said Debs. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
I've always said
that.
That's what it sounded like. That's why I didn't say nothing. But
No, he said I heard depth still.
He said,
Yeah, I always said that.
Oh, my bad.
I might need another name. I might have to change my name on that.
No. I remember Saka, fam. I remember Saka, bro.
I might have to change my name.
AWB, bro. That's you, fam.
You want to call me that? The best I defend.
Listen, I'm not even gonna waste my time on this, bro. Listen, I don't know what's happened. It feels like Space Jam. Like man's powers have just been taken from him, bro. That's just probably the best way to describe, because this is the same man Real Madrid wanted, bro. Real Madrid don't sign idiots, bro. So we got him. I just felt like he was let down by the previous regime, bro. I don't want to mention his name, bro. Because man was so used to Mac Fred, bro. He didn't know how to break up that marriage, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's true, bro. Because I remember like when Bruno came in, Pogba's in. He came back. Everyone's thinking, "Oh, we're gonna play a 4-3-3," and this guy's putting Pogba the defensive mid with McTominay or Fred, bro. So I don't know. I just feel like Van der Beek needs to leave the club and just probably go back to Ajax or something, just to rejuvenate himself. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think we let him down, as well as the injuries didn't help, and the poor coaches, the previous regime, and all of that. So that's what I would say. So I don't think it's just him. I just think it's a combination of a lot of factors why it didn't work out. But I think maybe it's time to go past the Julie and go back to Ajax or something.
Yes, I'm just going to stop you there, guys. Smash that like button, share across all social media platforms. Remember to subscribe as we have come to the end of the show. It's been a good one. Despite there was technical difficulties, the show must always go on. I will always find a way to keep this show going. Never stop. That wasn't easy. It's very awkward to see that your host is not even showing his face. Steffi says need to recruit 35 million for Donny van der Beek. We undersell our players, in my opinion. We have as well. Jose Mourinho was one to say that as well, that we undersell. And I hope having Eric Ten Hag there will ensure that we sell players at their correct price. Before we leave the show, I'm going to go through every single one of you. Any final words? I'm going to start off with you, Deps, because you take the longest. This time I said Deps.
You mean Aaron, yeah?
Yeah, AWB.
The best defender, the brothers.
1v1 in
best
that.
defender, 1v1, best defender. I'll take on 2 of you if I have to.
Any final words, my brother, before we clock off?
Yeah, man. Obviously, with this transfer thing, like you look at last season and you look at the season before. Actually, look at every season United. It's the same. It's exactly the same. I don't know why we're having hope. Obviously, we had a decent season. The previous regimes, like Mourinho regimes, but I feel like Mourinho regimes are way better than what we just had. And obviously, it showed. He signed the ballers, Pogba, Lukaku. Those were elite ballers in their time. So I do believe that, like we went through a gimmicky vibe with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Ralf Rangnick. So we just about got an elite manager again. We're back on track. Hopefully we get rid of what is there at the top, the deadwood at the top. You get some real quick with the Qataris, get some real stability. And I think if we do get the Qataris, I think that's comic over. That's comic over. I think we'll be strong in the market again. So we just need to hope on the ownership, and I genuinely reckon that the manager, he knows talent, so he knows what he wants. So just trust in the manager because he actually knows what he wants.
Yes, and of course, big up to you for those passionate words there. Jerome, any final words before we clock off?
Yeah, I think the best way to approach it is just not to get too downbeat for missing out on targets, because we're kind of used to how Man United run with this current board. So I think we shouldn't stress too much about it. I think the main focus for me personally is to hopefully get this Qatari ownership, because we need full ownership and we need the Glazers out. So even if we have a shit transfer window, as long as we've got the Qataris in, I'm happy. Because at least we know that from next season onwards, we'll be able to start acting like an elite club again. So that's the way I see it. Obviously, we're going to definitely get signings, but we might not get the players in that we all want as individuals. But you just have to look at it in that way, that we just don't have the minerals, that we don't have the capacity upstairs to get the right players in at the right price. So we might have to just wing it this summer. Just wait until the Qataris coming, to be honest.
Oh, that really hurts me that we might just get a new owner at the end of the transfer window.
Yeah.
Oh, and we just sign Weghorst and bring back Sabitzer. That's just peak, man.
That is a possibility.
Final words for you, my brother.
I think, guys, we just have to relax, enjoy our summer, because it's not in control. We're not in control of it, innit? So, as far as I'm concerned, just see how it goes. Hopefully, the Qatari is over, and we just get on with it. At the end of the day, we've seen this time and time again. When Man and I get top 4, the club get lazy and don't sign the players we flee. I'm begging, hopefully, things won't be like that, and we'll get the players that we definitely need. That's going to improve us. So let's just hope anyway. But enjoy your summer. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
don't stress.
Big up to everyone as well. Of course, let's just hope that Man United get this takeover out of the way, because I'm just tired, man. We're all tired, man. We're tired of being tired, like little baby said, man. But it is what it is, guys. As always, smash that like button, share across all social media platforms. We'll see you next week at 8 p.m.
It's got to be a hat trick.
Yeah, and
hat trick.
hat trick. Another goal for England. Saka, big up Saka.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, guys, I'm back live on Thursday at 5:30 for your latest Manchester United news as well. Again, and like I said before, join us next week at 8 p.m. UK time for another episode of The Catch Up. It is what it is. Peace and love from everyone. As always, remember to keep it united and remember to keep it Red United. We're out. Peace.